Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. I am so excited to be with you all today. How are you, IB Dabo?
I am doing great, Kim. I'm so glad to be on your show. I'm very excited. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here today. Happy Juneteenth weekend celebration, everyone. I know that it's a national holiday, so a lot of businesses are closed today. So hopefully that means that you get the opportunity to actually come on in the virtual studio audience. We did not want to cancel today's episode, especially when IB Dabo is here today to share his harrowing experience with you. This man has been a survivor of a civil war in his native country, and he fled. It's some stuff that you're going to hear today. I encourage you to go ahead and share this broadcast with everyone that you can. So share, invite, let people know that the Kim Jacobs Show is on. And we also have a special bonus segment for you today. We have attorney Charles Everage, who's going to be coming in mid-show, and he's going to talk to us today about what to do if you are in a traffic accident. I know there's some basic things to do, but you want to know exactly what to do. And attorney Charles Everage, one of our episode sponsors, will be talking to us about what we can do in a traffic accident. So as you come in, let us know where you're visiting in from today, and I will make sure that I shout you out and share your name and information as you're coming into the studio audience. So let's see. I see you saying good morning to you, Margaret. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Harad. Good morning. Hello, Kim and IB. Buenos dias. Okay, buenos dias. Hello, Lisa. Good morning, champions. Kathleen is saying. Let's see who else is out here. Greetings from Newport Beach, California. Here to hear my brother share. Yes, TJ Naiman. And who else? Hey, everyone. Godwick says it's a pleasure to have you in the studio audience today. Hey, IB, the value coach is here watching you. Yes. Coach. Who else? Happy Juneteenth. Yes, happy Juneteenth to you, Kathleen. Good morning, Jay. Good morning. Glad you all are already in your virtual seats. Birmingham, Alabama is sending greetings. Ricky. All right. How are you, Ricky? Any others? Good morning from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, in Albuquerque, that can take your breath away. That elevation can take some breath away. Good morning to you all. Michael Williams says as well. Glad to have you, Michael. Hi from Scotts Valley, California. All right. Columbus, Ohio is in the house. Hey, Tanya, how are you? Good morning from Chi-Town. Marvina, Austin, Texas is in the house as well. Good morning from Mubarak. Okay. Kathleen Joyner from Cincinnati, Ohio. All right, so I just wanted to give a few shout outs as we came in this morning. Listen, right after this commercial break, what I'm going to do is introduce our special guest, IB Dabo, and make sure that you know who he is. And we're going to jump right into his story. So we'll be right back right after this commercial break.
It's not just another day. It's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everyone, and we are back. This young man, IB Dabo, is a motivational speaker and inspirational speaker who inspires young people to discover their purpose in life, to find hope and inspiration so they can make an impact on the world. He's also a hearing health advocate. IB is a member of the board of directors of the Hearing Loss Association of America, the nation's leading nonprofit organization representing 48 million people with hearing loss that's in America. And in 2022, he was appointed to be by the governor to serve as a commissioner for the Georgia Commission for the Deaf of Hard of Hearing. So I am so pleased to have IB Dabo here today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kim. I'm so glad to be on your show.
Now, talk to us, IB. You have a lot that I see in your bio. I just don't want to read it because I want you to take us back on your journey. Talk to us about your backstory and where you've come from.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kim, for the opportunity. I come from Sierra Leone in West Africa. And I remember growing up as a young boy, I just had so many things in mind. I just had so many things that I wanted to accomplish. I was the one who most times I didn't play a lot with my peers. I always used to hang around elderly people in the area that I grew up in. My late father was an educator, so I grew up in a community of educators. But the one thing about me was that even though I played, I didn't get to play a lot with my peers. I always wanted to get involved in discussions with elderly people, with adults. I always wanted to learn something new from them. But then something troubled me as I was growing up and as I was trying to make sense of life. I love the news. I love current affairs from a very early age. But the news that I was hearing was troubling to me.
Right.
I was hearing news about war in neighboring country, Liberia. I was hearing news about children being killed, children being put on drugs to fight alongside the rebels. As a young boy myself, it troubled me. And as I was thinking about my future, I was thinking, what can I do?
Right. So first of all, that's a lot to even process and to have on your shoulders at your age. You said so as a child, you weren't just thinking about, hey, I'm going out to play kickball, softball, soccer, whatever. You were thinking about what could you do to help kind of change the world type of thing?
Yes, yes, indeed, because I was fortunate to have a shelter, have a roof over my head. I had books to read and to go to school. And just to hear about children not having the opportunity and being killed because of adults' conflicts, it troubled me. But then little did I know that later on, I too would become a victim of civil war.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And that's what I was reading. When I was reading that, I said, now this young man had no idea that what he was trying to prevent from happening in his early years was ultimately going to happen to you.
Yes.
So this story was going to become your personal journey, not just you helping everyone else, but you then were going to be caught up in the midst of a civil war yourself
Yes.
as a child. So talk to us about what happened and when you found yourself. How did you find yourself in that situation? How was it thrust on you?
So at the age of 14, the sound of gunshots and explosions woke me up. I got up feeling disoriented, only to learn that the rebels had invaded Freetown, Sierra Leone, the city where I was living. And just the day before, I was having fun with friends and family. We were playing Scrabble. That's one of my favorite games. And I always had that burning desire to win all the games. I wanted to beat the elders in Scrabble. So we had so much fun. And I went to bed that night. And then suddenly, life changed. A man at a land said, sometimes in life, a sudden situation, a moment in time, alters your whole life forever
Mm.
changes the road ahead.
Wow.
What happened to me at an early age, it changed my life forever.
So you're in the bed, you're in the bed, you're in the bed. You're just finishing a game of Scrabble, you go to bed, you wake up to gunshot. Is everybody, you've been invaded. The rebels are here to attack your country land, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I was terrified. I was so scared. And before I go into little details, let me just share something, a story about my favorite uncle, John. You know, my father passed away when I was 3 years old. So growing up, I was looking for a father figure in my life. Thank God Uncle John was around. God sent Uncle John in my life. He poured so much love in me. He was my encourager. I remember he would take me to his university where he was to spend time with him. He would cook delicious meals for me. He is the only person came that would give me a haircut. You know the GQ haircut that
Yes,
I
yes,
said?
yes. So Uncle
Yeah.
John hooked you up,
And
right?
the old fashioned way with the scissors and the blade. So every time Uncle John would go away, sometimes he goes away for 3 months, sometimes 2 months, I would not let anybody touch my head, okay? I'm going to wait for Uncle John to return. And whenever he returns, he comes back with something good for me. So I'm always looking forward to something from him. I'm always expecting, and he never
Yeah.
disappoints me. Just his presence, his smile, his gentleness, his love. And so one day I was waiting. I was like, okay, Uncle John has taken so long. This is the time that he usually comes. I cannot wait to see my Uncle John again.
Yes.
And then I got the news.
Wow.
My favorite Uncle John had been killed by the rebels.
Oh my God. Okay.
He
Abby.
was decapitated. He was, my whole life changed.
God.
I remember there's a yellow table in the kitchen. I remember that evening I lay down on the table crying. Uncle John did not have to die that way. He did not have to die.
Hmm.
He did not do anything wrong. He just happened to be caught up in a situation. What am I going to do now? My earthly father is gone. My biological father is gone. My father figure in my life, who I loved so much, is gone.
Gosh.
What am I going to do now? I was angry. I was disappointed. I was fearful for my future.
Mm, 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 mm.
But then you know what? I decided not to stay down for so long. I decided not to grieve for so long because I knew that if Uncle John was around, he would be there to motivate me to do well in school and to just be the best that God has called me to be.
Mm, mm,
So
mm,
I
mm.
decided to rise up, and I worked very hard in school whenever I thought about Uncle John. And so I don't know what situation you might be experiencing today.
Mm, 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 mm.
It might be a situation that you cannot turn. But you know, like Ahmed Adalan said in the quote, the situation that happens, it forever changes the road. And we have the choice to choose what road should we choose, what road should we pursue. Can we believe that God has a purpose for our life, and despite the circumstances, despite the obstacles, we can still rise up and pursue God's purpose for our life? That was the first turning point in my life.
How old were you at that point when your dad passed? How old were you? Your Uncle John was killed in war. How old were you? Tell us your age at those times.
Yes, so my dad passed away when I was 3 years old.
3 years old.
Uncle
And
John passed away when I was 11, 12 years old.
so now at this point, you have two important people in your life
Yeah.
that have transitioned from this earth, and you can't talk to them anymore here. And so the grieving as a young child is happening, and war is happening at the same time, with your uncle now being a part of the casualties from that, according to your story here.
Yeah.
Now, where was your mom and your rest of your family as you all are going through this trying time?
So I was living with my families. My brother was with me, and fast forward a couple years, when at the age of 14, when the war actually broke in the city, I was living with families. My mom was here in the US. And so we had to make a move. I had heard about stories, like I mentioned earlier, young boys being abducted, teenagers being abducted, put on drugs to fight alongside the rebels.
Right.
I did not want my dreams to die at a young age, to die with me. And so the next step was to figure out a way to leave the country.
So you and your mom and your brother, your family devised a plan to be able to escape that situation.
Yes, so my mom was here in the US and coordinating things with us, and I was able to leave with my older brother. We were able to leave.
Wow. Okay. I know, Mackenzie, I said that we're not going to take a commercial break, but I think that some kind of way we have to. So let me decide which one I'm going to play here.
Sure.
Wow, because we got to take a commercial break, because this is some heavy stuff that you're saying. So what we're going to do is go to this one right here. We'll be right back right after this commercial break. You escaped with your brother while your mom was in the United States trying to orchestrate a plan and say, follow this to the science. Follow this plan. When we come back, tell us what that plan was right after this commercial break.
Sounds good.
Wow.
Hi, my name is Samantha Benson, and I'm with Get Insured Solutions. You can get life insurance anywhere across the country, but with Get Insured Solutions, we have an advocacy program that helps families at the worst time of their lives with the loss of their loved ones. That means we have a funeral advocacy program that helps your family with funeral merchandise, negotiating the cost of the funeral expenses, and living benefits. Get Insured Solutions, LLC. Contact me, Samantha Benson.
All right, everyone, we're back. We're talking with IB Dabo, and he's telling us his harrowing experience as he had to flee his country, native land, to be able to get to his mom safely. He was instructed by his mom on how to do that, and his brother, his oldest brother, had to help him execute this plan. Tell us how that worked.
Yeah, so fortunately we had, God knows how to work. So initially when the war started, some people came into the city, some did not have any place to stay. And we took in our home one of these men. We wanted to help him. We wanted him to get started with his life. He had lost everything. And so he stayed with us for a while until he got back on his feet and he was doing good.
Yes.
So when the war broke out now, he is the one that God used to help us with the transportation, to give us a ride to go to the harbor where a boat had come to get the people who were able to leave, who had the means, the financial means to leave. We did not have the full money that was required, but then God made a way. God made a way. God directed us. We went to the back gate of the harbor and we sat there for a while, and then a pickup truck showed up. And I don't know if it's rebels or soldiers, they were in there and they looked at my brother and myself and they said, "What are you guys doing here?" We said, "We're trying to go into the boat." So they said, "Jump in the truck." We jumped in the back of the pickup truck, bullets, ammunition, everything just scattered. We're just sitting there and I'm praying. I'm like, "God, I hope they don't abduct us. Fortunately, they took us down to where the boat was. And long story short, we got on board that boat.
Man, you got me towed down over here. I need to take some water because I
Yes.
can't. I gotta
So
do some
here,
deep
this
breathing.
just before we left, we heard that, I mean, it was going to rain. So it was an oil tanker boat, open. So the UNHCR, I believe, they brought like a tarpaulin to have makeshift roof. And just before we left, we were heavily drenched by downpour of rain. The journey was supposed to be a 6-7 hour journey to neighboring Guinea. Somewhere, somehow, in the middle of the night, that plan changed and we headed to the Gambia. And that's where it all began. The boat was going. The first day passed. No sign, no trace of land. And I'm thinking, what's going on? We're all sitting on our luggages. In the night, it's so dark. And that boat is rocking with us forward and backward, sideways. Sometimes the water splashes and we can feel the water hitting on us. Elderly people, children, educators, 600 of us aboard the boat. The second night passes, no trace of
That's
land.
crazy.
The third day passes, no trace of land. The fourth day passes, we've run out of food, we've run out of water, no shower, just sitting, wondering, God, we are supposed to be out, but does it mean that we are going to die out here in the ocean? And then the penultimate night is when I thought that was the end of my life. Boisterous winds rocked that boat mercilessly. And even before then, I was so terrified just thinking about the prospect of this happening. And as the wind was rocking that boat, it was in the middle of the night. People were screaming, people were praying. And I went in the corner and I prayed to God. I said, God, if you save us, I had no plans to die in the ocean and not even have a decent funeral. If you save us, I would make the best of every opportunity you give me in life. That was my vow to God. Les Brown says, when life knocks you down, try to fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And when I looked up by daybreak, I knew God had answered my prayer. When I saw the sunrise, I knew God had given me new hope. I knew that God would not let me out there for the sharks. I saw things in the water that terrified me. It could have been sharks, it could have been anything else that could come and snatch me up in their powerful jaws and swallow me and their dreams.
And this is you and your brother, along with about 600 other people on a boat out in the wilderness trying to just get to a safe new life.
Yes.
But to get from where you were to where you ultimately arrived, there was all of this in between.
There was all that in between. And something powerful happened as I was praying. I was hearing this loud sound. It was very terrifying, just this sound like metals grinding together. At the time, I did not know what that was. Afterwards, in hindsight, I figured out what it was. It was the boat, the captain putting the anchor down. So what's the role of the anchor? My understanding is that the anchor goes deep down and hooks on the seabed so that the boat would not drift away. And as I'm praying in faith, and God answering my prayer, my wife Joy did something phenomenal yesterday. She gave me one of the best Father's Day gift. It was a keychain, a cross, and an anchor. She gave me. It took me back of the boats and the anchor and my journey, how far God has brought me, and that anyone, no matter what you're going through, if you lose hope, maybe you're going through difficulty, you've lost loved ones right now, maybe you've lost a family to COVID, maybe you're experiencing divorce, you're experiencing pain, you're experiencing anger. That key chain that my wife gave me yesterday, the cross and the anchor, reminded me that when we anchor our faith deep down in God, when the storms of life come and try to push us, to try to drift us, to maybe drown and to maybe lose our dreams, when we count on a God who said that I set you apart, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb, and I set you apart for greatness. When you remember that, you know that a God would never fail you. So no matter what you're going through right now, I urge you, don't give up. Don't give up on hope, because God has a purpose for your plan, for your life. And if God did not have a purpose for my life, I would not be here today sharing my story with you.
And your story is not just a story, everyone. Listen, this is a real life situation. You know how you watch a movie and it's based on true events? This is the person himself that literally went through these traumatic experiences to get to where he is today, to share his journey with you. So what I want us to do, IB, is there's a whole bright future when you arrive in the United States, right?
Yes.
So you arrived here, and I know we're going to go to a commercial break in a second, but just tell us real briefly when you arrived and you saw your mommy. How was that, right quick? Tell us.
All right, really briefly, it was a journey. It was a journey in itself, because once that boat got to the Gambia, I had to find myself in a new environment, new country, and I spent 7 years there as a refugee. But then fast forward, when I got to the US, thanks to God, it was a moment to remember. The hug and the praises to God, who turned things around and who opened doors of opportunities that has brought me to where I am today. So I'm grateful for the opportunity.
I'm so grateful. Woo! I'm so grateful. I can't even explain to you. Mackenzie, I'm going to pop some of these comments up before we get ready to go to our commercial break, because there's so many comments. Amazing story, IB, of your faith, strength, and determination. Yes, God's anchor holds. Darnice says, yes. Let's see other comments that came in. That's right. Faith, hope, anchored in God. Yes.
Thank you. That's my wife, Joy.
Oh,
Thank
wait,
you.
go back. Right. That is the wife.
That's my beautiful wife. Yes, she is my
God
biggest
imprint.
supporter. Her name is Joy.
Well, we're so glad to have you on, Mrs. Dabo. Powerful, Alkaline Alchemist says. Powerful. Yes. Any other comments, Mackenzie? That's coming in real quick. Let's see. God is so good, Dr. Kene says. Let's see. What else? That's amazing, Alkaline says. Any other comments? Thank God for you. He is using your greatness and light to help others now. Yes.
Amen.
Other comments. If you fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. That's a quote from Les Brown. Yes, TJ Naaman. All right. Let's see. We have time for maybe one more. Make the best of every opportunity in life, IB. And that's what Alkaline said.
Yes,
So many
Alkaline.
comments have been pouring in. Very moving story, Brother IB. Very moving story.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Greetings from the UK. It's great to see you all. Great to see you as well. All right. So listen, everybody, we're going to, wow, I see you. I see all of your comments coming in. We'll keep them popping up later throughout the broadcast. What we're going to do right now is we're going to transition and we're going to hear from our episode sponsor, which is attorney Charles Everage with Hunter Everage Law Firm. They are injury and disability disability. I love to talk about that because disability, you could have been denied a claim of disability. You don't want to just give up and assume that they can't help you. Reach out to attorney Charles Everage and attorney Hunter. They're in multiple states and let them let you know whether they can serve you and meet your needs. Okay. 704-377-9157 is their contact information. And this hunter-everage.com. We're going to take a commercial break and we're going to come back and hear from attorney Charles Everage on what to do if you're in the midst of a traffic accident. Then we're going to come back and close the show out with you, IB. IB, I want to make sure that we talk about your motivational speaking, what you have going on in life, your family, when we come back on the second half. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Look forward to it.
All right. We'll be right back after this commercial break, everyone.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter & Everage, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, everyone, and we are here now talking with attorney Charles Everage with Hunter Everage Law Firm, and we want to welcome you, attorney Charles Everage. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Great to be here. Happy Juneteenth to you.
Very glad to see you today. And listen, thank you so much for always being one of our episode sponsors here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Without you and your organization, the show wouldn't even thrive. So thank you for doing that. Today, we're talking specifically about traffic accidents and what people can do if they find themselves in just a routine traffic accident. So if you would take us on a journey of what people should do.
Well, first of all, you want to make sure that the police are called. It's a lot harder to prosecute or to obtain your rights if there isn't a police report. Sometimes you may think, well, I don't want to call the police. I don't want to be slowed down. But it's important to call the police so it's documented. The second thing is everyone has a cell phone today, but that cell phone today is also a camera. Take pictures of the scene, take pictures of the vehicles that are involved in the scene. If there are witnesses, you can actually record those witnesses, get them to say, well, what's your name? What's your phone number? You've got a recording device in your hand.
That's good to know.
And more importantly, you've got to take care of yourself. You talk a lot about self-care. Go to the doctor, okay? The emergency room or an urgent care facility, they're going to tell you whether or not you're hurt.
Okay.
Now, I didn't go to medical school, so I don't know whether the shoulder is dislocated or not, or just sore. But an emergency room doctor or urgent care doctor that day, it's important to do it that day, is going to be most helpful.
Oh, that day though, it needs to be that day. Because the reason I said that, attorney,
it's preferable to be that day to go to and get medical treatment that day.
Okay.
And a lot of clients will call me and say, well, I didn't go to the doctor that day. I was with my kids. I didn't want to take them to the emergency room. You can still go to the doctor, but you need to follow up relatively quickly. The next day, you don't want to be in an accident in January.
Right.
Be in pain and then go to the doctor in May. It makes it very difficult because the doctor hadn't seen you close to the time of the accident.
Now, do you recommend too that, like, I know sometimes when people get in accidents, they may leave the scene and say, okay, you know what, that wasn't that big of a deal, And then later people come back that's on the other side and say, well, they can have any kind of narrative that they choose to paint. So do you recommend people stay at the scene or?
Yeah, you want to stay at the scene until the police arrive. But, one thing that does happen to clients is, you may be a trusting person and you receive the information from the other driver and they give you false information. And then you have to, you think, well, we'll take care of it between ourselves, but you later need an accident report. Wow. Well, you can still get an accident report on a later day. It's harder. You have to call the police department generally and tell them to meet you at the scene. But the best practice is to, just invest the time, document what's happened. Because you have to think of it this way. This accident can have ramifications if you're injured, if you can't work, if you lose your job because of that. I have clients that are in pain for months or years and need surgery. And so if you don't document what happened first, you could be hurting yourself.
That's interesting. Okay. So if you all have questions for Attorney Everage as well, while we're talking with him, go ahead and start typing your questions in and we'll see if we can get some of them answered right quick. This is free legal advice that he's sharing with you. And so he's an attorney and able to share this advice with you right now. Do not miss this opportunity to get your questions answered. Any other thoughts on what people can do during a traffic accident to make sure that they are protecting themselves? Yeah. I know protect yourself by making sure that you're in a safe environment type of thing, that you're not just in the middle of the road and all of that. Yeah. But
and you want to make sure you talk to the police officer. You want to, make sure that they hear your side of the story. They're not going to produce a report that day, but you want to make sure that they've talked to you. I've had several cases where people have been badly injured and had to be transported by the ambulance immediately before the police officer gets there. In those cases, sometimes the officer won't put the relevant information down. You may have to contact that officer to get the report amended. But talk to any witnesses you have. If it's not an issue that's confrontational, you can talk with the other driver. You can ask them, hey, well, what happened? And, a lot of people will say, I was looking down at my cell phone, or I'm sorry, I dropped something on my floor, and they'll make a statement to you. And that can help your case. After you seek medical treatment, though, you do want to reach out to your insurance company to report the accident to them. When you get a copy of the accident report, and it depends on where you live, the accident report or the accident exchange slip will contain information regarding the other driver's insurance. And if they were at fault, you want to reach out to the other driver's insurance company. If you do that, do not give a recorded statement to the other driver's insurance company about how this accident occurred.
That's good.
Do not give a recorded statement about what your injuries were. You want to leave that to your attorney that's representing you, because when they're recording your statement, they're trying to elicit any statement that is going to be detrimental to you and help their client.
That's good. That's so good. And I know in situations that I've ever been in over the course of time, because I actually learned this from you, you're supposed to keep some type of file. So at some point, talk to us about the importance of, I know people have paperwork and stuff everywhere. Yeah. So how do you recommend?
Well, you want to know your auto insurance information so that you can contact your insurance. And of course, as you're going through this process, if you're contacted by an insurance company, you want to record or write down the name of the adjuster or person that contacted you, their phone number, their email, and what they call a claim number, so that when you reach out to an attorney, he or she can help you in the most efficient manner.
That's good. Okay. So, I mean, all of this is great advice, and it's stuff that people don't just typically automatically do because they may be in shock or in a traumatized state. So they don't even know that this is all stuff that should be happening. The thing that I think I've also witnessed in people that have had incidents, Attorney Everage, on the side of the road, is I've seen some like pretty road rage kind of behavior.
Yeah,
So
you
what do
don't,
you do in
you don't
situations?
have to interact with the other driver. If it's a situation like that, you can remain in your car. You don't have to talk to him, but if it's a situation where you can, it's no problem in doing that. You do want, and sometimes I've had several situations where it's a hit and run. The person hits your car, you pull over, and they take off. But if you've been smart enough, or if you had the opportunity to take a picture of their car, take a picture of them, take a picture of their license plate.
That's good.
That I've had situations where, although the person left the scene, my client was able to take a picture of their license plate and track it down that way. Because people do drive without insurance. They do. People do illegal things like hit and run accidents. So you have to, try and document that and to protect yourself. Now, one thing about one common complaint that I hear from clients is they'll go to the emergency room and they'll say, that emergency room doctor didn't do anything for me.
I've heard that, right?
I'm still in pain. And emergency rooms are there for really urgent issues. They're there to make sure the patient is stabilized and out the door. So 90% of the time, they're not going to be admitting you. So they're just going to stabilize you, not really do a full workup on you. That's why it's important to follow up with your primary care doctor. I know some of your speakers have talked about the importance of having a primary care doctor. Go to your primary care doctor after the emergency room and let that primary care doctor decide whether you need physical therapy or a chiropractor. One of the things that clients also worry about is the cost of medical expenses. Medical expenses are so costly, particularly if you don't have insurance. Well, one of the things that we try and do for our clients is we try and put them in a position where if they don't have insurance, we can refer them to local providers, chiropractors or physical therapists or orthopedic doctors that can treat them despite not having insurance or the funds.
Wow. Okay, well, there are a few questions that's coming in. And so I want to make sure that's what Mackenzie's backstage doing. Thank you, Mackenzie. So God Imprint said, that's good. ER first, then follow up with your PCP.
Yeah. And, I had a lot of clients say, hey, well, with COVID, they didn't want to go into the hospital.
Right.
Well, the wait is really long with the ER. Another option is urgent care. Urgent cares have extended hours.
Yes. And
are able to see you a little bit quicker. But if it's very serious, you definitely need to go to the emergency room.
Well, let's go to the next question, Mackenzie, right quick. What else was there? How much do you charge for that process and the whole disability process as well?
Okay. If it's a disability question, well, first of all, for both disability cases and personal injury or automobile accident cases, there is no fee unless we recover for you. You don't pay anything up front. Typically for automobile accident cases is 1/3 of what's recovered if we're able to reach a settlement prior to filing suit. And it's 25% for Social Security disability cases.
Okay. So that answered that question. Excellent answer. That's important to know. So if you can get with a group that's going to not take their fees until you get compensated.
Yeah, I mean, we strongly believe in earning our fees. We're providing a service for you. We can't make a recovery for you. we haven't done anything to earn that fee. So that's what we strongly believe with Hunter and Everage.
That's really good. Okay, well, this has been very enlightening information. And so I want to pop up there how people can stay connected. Let me pull that up right now. Yes. Attorney Charles Everage with Hunter Everage Law Firm, one of our episode sponsors, which we greatly appreciate. Their Charlotte location is 704-377-9157. And they also have an Alabama location. And the Alabama.
Yes, I'm originally from Montgomery. So last year, I was moved to come back home and set up shop. I'm still back and forth between the two cities, but we do have a Montgomery location, and we can help you in Alabama or North Carolina. And my partner operates our Richmond, Virginia office. So please, contact us for disability or any type of injury cases that you have.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Attorney Charles Everage. Thank you all. I see more comments coming in, but we have to make sure. Let's see. The inspiration, and I see all of your comments coming in. I just want to see if there's any special thing about the law firm. Okay. I don't want to disconnect if you have more questions about law. All right. So listen, Attorney Charles Everage, thank you so much for being here with us today on this segment, this bonus segment about what to do during traffic accidents. We look forward to having you back again real soon. And we're going to take a commercial break and transition back to IB. Okay, we'll be right back, everybody. Thank you, Attorney.
Thanks a lot, Kim.
God bless you. Have a great one.
God bless. Thank you.
We make decisions, and our decisions make us. You have something special. You've got greatness in you. When I look at this picture with my brother and I, born in an abandoned building on a floor in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City, and I was labeled educable mental retarded. They called me DT, the dumb twin. No one could have told me, by investing in myself and learning how to communicate, how to present myself, how to speak to one-on-one or small groups or large audiences, that it would dramatically change my life. I'm 77 now, and I'm looking for people who are serious about becoming successful, about becoming a category king, on how to tell their story about themselves or about their business, or how to monetize their dreams and make a difference on the planet. If that's you, I want you to reach out to me. I'm going to teach you how to tell your story, how to use quotes, how to use humor, how to make people laugh and feel good and cry in their tears. Oh, let me tell you something up in here. People say we have the best training program on the planet and train more successful people than anybody on the planet. And you can be the next one. This is your time. This is your moment to turn adversity to your advantage. But you gotta be hungry. You have something special. You got greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye for now.
All right. You know what? Something happened. So I was going to say something's happening, but I'm going to figure it out because I am a master at figuring stuff out. So let's see. I think it works. Okay. Yeah. I was like, let me get on my phone. I feel like we're frozen or something. Did something glitch out?
No, I was
But
seeing you clear. I thought you were figuring out something else. Yes, we
oh
are.
no, I was trying to figure out how to get on my phone because the screen was frozen over here. So I said, "Whoa, okay." So we are back, and so everything was playing fine on your end.
Yes.
Look at that. Things that stress you out in life, and you're like, it's working out for the other people. You just don't know it's working out. Anyway, that's how life
You made
works.
a comeback.
I
Really
came
doing
back.
what he
I came
says. He
back. I
says
was
it
over here
said.
frozen like this, and I was like, "Huh? How's this possible?" All right, we're back, everybody, with IB Dabo, and thank you so much for this time that we've had with you so far. Tell us about the other side of your journey. Now you're here in the United States. Tell us some things that you've been doing and what you're doing with your newfound life.
Well, thank you. I came to the US. I was very excited to connect again with my family. My sister was living here. I have extended families as well. My focus was really to get my education. So I came in straight into community college. I did my best. I did very well in undergrad. And during this time, I was really thinking about my purpose for life. I was pondering, I was reflecting on my journey, how I got here, how blessed I am that God got me through that challenge. And my big thing was to make sure that I keep my vow to God. Remember, when we're in difficult times, when we're in challenges, we make vows to God. God, if you let me through this challenge, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. But when I think about my journey, and I said, God, if you give me any opportunity, I'll make the best of it. And here I was now in school. So what way could I really show God that I meant what I meant was to work hard, was to excel. And I did that. I also wanted to give back. So I started speaking to students in high schools and in universities as well. And I just felt a great connection with them, obviously for several reasons.
Yes.
So I mean, my journey has been getting involved, working with young people, excelling in school, and doing the best in every job that I have.
That's
But then
good.
something happened when I was in grad school that also changed.
I was going to say something else happened that we haven't talked about, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
so in 2013, I was in grad school and I wasn't feeling too well. My throat was itching, so I go to the clinic on campus, and I tell the doctor, I explained what was going on with me, and he said, "Oh, that's seasonal allergies." I'm like, "Okay, I did not." That was the first time I heard about that. You know, I had experienced it, but I did not
But you
know.
didn't know that was the term for it,
Right.
allergies, right?
Yes. So I was laughing. We were laughing there, and then I talked to him. It was just a coincidence, you know. I was like, I needed to check in my ears because every time I put my finger in my ears, I feel two different ears. You know, is that the way it's supposed to be? And he's sure enough, he looked in there and he's like, "Yeah, your ears is perfect." You know, he said, "You're clean. Everything is good." And then he said, "Oh, he said there's this hearing screening going on campus for speech language pathology students."
Right.
So he recommended, "Yeah, you might want to just go check it out. It's free for students." In that moment, I was like, "What? I I did not even know about something called hearing screening." So I was just very curious.
Right.
I wanted to follow his recommendation to go try it out. Sure enough, I went in. I was so excited. I got into the hearing center, and I was on the line, and I sat down and did the test. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing! It's just a headset to put in your head." I said, "Are they going to play music
Simple
for me?"
enough, right?
Yeah. So I was thinking that maybe they're going to play some music while I'm waiting. And so they put the headset on. A few minutes passed, and the lady comes back. She's like, "You didn't hear anything?" I said, "No." And I'm just relaxed, calm, waiting for the music to play, thinking that it
Right.
was music. And then she came back, and nothing happened. Long story short, my excitement going into the hearing center turned into devastation. I was diagnosed with bilateral sensorineural hearing loss. And it took me a long time to be able to even pronounce that word. Again, this time I was so shocked and disappointed. And I was angry again. I was disappointed. God, why me? I had dealt with the stigma of being a refugee. And now I get to deal with the stigma associated with hearing loss. What does the future hold for me? Here I am fearful, thinking the worst things. And as I left the hearing center in tears, walking on my way home, I had a million questions coming through my head, wanting to give up. You know, earlier I talked about Les Brown's quote. He said, when life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up, right?
Right.
This time around, the first time I got up, this time around when I fell on my stomach. I did not fall on my back. I was so struck with shock, and I started giving up on my dream. I had worked so hard, but this one, it got me to the point I stopped speaking to the students.
Dang.
I stopped writing as a journalist. I was just focused on my day job in information technology. The first year passes, nothing. The second year passes, I'm just in my own world, isolation. The third year passes, feeling stressed. Until the seventh year.
Wait. So 7 years passed by from the time you went and got this exciting new thing, some headphones, just to test your hearing. And what? A hearing screening? What is that? What are allergies? Things that are happening here in the United States that are just unbeknownst to you.
Yes.
It takes 7 years before what happens?
It takes 7 years of grieving, and partly because when I learned from the diagnosis, as the audiologist was explaining to me the impact of the hearing loss.
Yes.
I was able to trace it back to 15 years, at least 15 years prior to my diagnosis. And I had no idea. I had no idea why I struggled to understand lectures in the classroom. I remember in undergrad, I went into the classroom. In some classes, I never understood what the professor was talking.
But it was because you couldn't hear what the professor was talking about.
Yeah. In fact, I thought the professor was the problem. I was telling my friends, I said, I don't know why the professor talks like this. No one understands what she's saying. So I took walk home and I would start studying at 4 a.m. to keep up. I would go to church. I would not understand what the pastor is saying. And then here, the word of God says faith comes by hearing, and of hearing of the word of God. But if I can't hear the word of God, then how do I nourish my faith? Those are some of the questions that I was wrestling with God, and I was asking him. But I mentioned to you, I fell on my back, and now I start to struggle so I can roll back and lay down on my back so I can look up and try to get up.
And what did you do to get up? Because we're coming to the tail end of today's episode, and I want to make sure we hear how you got up to inspire other people to get up too.
My wife was a big inspiration. She talked to me. I've known her for 18 years. And so she knows me. When she first saw me, she knew my ambition. She saw how driven I was. And then after we got married, I lost everything. She noticed something was wrong, and she knew what was going on. Thanks to her encouragement. Sometimes she would talk to me, encouraged for an hour and a half, and my response is just a 5-minute response. But thanks to her support, I was able to rise up again and put those challenges behind me and say, I would use my experiences to support other people like me, other people who have experienced hearing loss.
Mm.
And that's what got me involved in my advocacy as well as my speaking, in addition to my speaking.
So listen, everybody, you all can stay connected with IB Dabo. And this man, when you connect with him, if you entrust your children to him and his leadership, he has a new talk show that's going to be coming out soon. And I actually played a part in that because he went through my training on how to start your own talk show from scratch. And you're enjoying that, right?
Thank you, Miss Kim. I love it. It's wonderful.
And so he's going to be coming out with an incredible show in the very near future, you all. But if you want to learn how to create your own show too, go to kimjacobsconsulting.com. I want to show these last 3 pictures and say something about them. And then we're going to put your contact information up once again. This is how people can stay connected with IB Dabo, IBDABO.com, IBDABO.com. You can email him at ib@ibdabo.com. And you can also follow him on social media on IB Dabo. Okay, tell us this picture.
So this was on Mother's Day. You see my beautiful wife, Joy, there, who is an absolute joy. And my 3 kids, Gloria, Nyake, and Joshua. So this was after service in church, and it was just a delight. This was in secondary school. I told you my dad passed away when I was 3 years old. I wanted to connect with my dad some way, somehow. And this is his suit that I just could not wait to grow older so I can put on his suit. So at least I can feel connected some way, that because I do not have any recollection of him. So this was one of my proud moments as a boy growing up.
To wear your daddy's suit.
Yes, and you
Oh
can
my
see it's
gosh.
emphasized, yes.
And this picture.
So this was the one on the far left was Gloria and I. So I took her to work with me for up to 6 months. So she and I would be in the office. We had absolute joy in the office with me. And here you see I was setting up for a meeting on the lower right, and she was being my very good helper as always. And at the top, you see now that was her 4-year-old birthday we celebrated, and little brother is just cheering on for her like,
Oh, IB Dabo, I am so excited that you graced us with your presence today. Listen, everybody, again, happy Juneteenth, Freedom Day. We hope that you're celebrating your national holiday off. I know that we are as a family as well. And tomorrow, make sure you're in your virtual seats because we have a young lady named Dr. TJ Naiman. She's going to be here to talk to us about how to carve your name on hearts, not just on tombstones. So be here to hear that episode starting at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're here now streaming also live daily at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on Dr. Les Brown's Facebook page, as well as all of the other platforms that you currently view us. Today's episode, I want to make sure, let me put my glasses back on for one more final second here. I want to make sure that you all know that we encourage you to stay connected with attorney Charles Everage from Hunter Everage Law Firm. You can reach them at 704-377-9157 and let them know the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. They do have a location in Richmond, Virginia, and in Montgomery, Alabama as well. So make sure that if you are any of those areas, because I know this is a global program, you can reach out to them and they will help you with personal injury, wrongful death of a loved one, even if you're dealing with traffic accidents, as you heard Attorney Everage say today, or any type of disability and lots of other things. Just give them a call and see what they can help you with, okay? IB, any closing comment? And we're going to get off this good show today.
Yes, absolutely. The war is going on, the war for our mind, the battle for our mind. And so I just want to encourage you out there. There are some things that you want to think about. Challenge your thoughts, number one. Shift your mindset, the way you think, the things that you think about. You know, Elsie Robinson once said, things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that count are the things that happen in you. Change your mindset. And then number two, be mindful or reevaluate your circle, your inner circle, the people you surround yourself with. You want to always be around people who are positive minded people, people who are thinking, people who would lift you up and you will lift one another up. And the last but not least is beware of what you feed on or what feeds you. You know, if you feeding on a lot of negative news or social media things that are just going to get you upset, and that's going to have an impact on you over time. You always want to make sure that you have something positive reinforcement, because in life we go through challenges. You don't want to add extra challenges that you have control over. So with that, I just say thank you again, Miss Kim, for your time, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be on your show today. Thank you.
Stay backstage, Abby. I'll talk to you in a second, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today and all of your wonderful comments. Enjoy Juneteenth Celebration Day. God bless you all. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Mackenzie will close out too if you want. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.